Hi, this is Priyanka Chopra and you're watching Channel Y.
The biggest South Asian media group, Y Media.
Y Media Group, established in 2001, is a media company with a 360-degree approach in reaching our audience over 5 platforms: television, radio, newspaper, online news portal, and mobile app.
Y Media has newspaper, midweek, radio, South Asian pop.
Hi, I'm Amitabh Bachchan and you're listening to South Asian Pulse.
Hi, this is Amir Khan and you're listening to South Asian Pulse.
All English 24/7 television network and Y Media Plus.
You are watching Channel Y. Channel Y.
Y Media Group's Ground Zero Report. From Parliament Hill to Queen's Park, to Y Media's studios.
Prime Minister, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be back.
Y Media is the official media partner for TIFF. This is an exclusive show all about the Toronto International Auto Show.
So Cam's going to tell us more about the amazing vehicle.
Hi, this is Yalla Kampal with Y Media. Today we are here at the 2023 Canadian International Auto Show. We're going to
Hi, I'm Ria Khan, and on behalf of Y Media, welcome to Channel Y.
Y Media Group welcomes you to Channel Y once again.
Host Ramona Singh. It's always great to start the show with you.
Hi everybody, this is Yalla Kampal with Y Media. Today
Channel Y के entertainment special में Hello, Sat Shri Akal, Namaste and Adab. This is Kripa Anand and you're watching us on Channel Y.
Everyone, this is Pragya Devan, and you're watching me on Y Media.
This is Vinay Sharma reporting from Chandigarh, Channel Y.
Online, SouthAsianDaily.com. The biggest South Asian media group, Y Media.
Hello everyone, my name is Yudhir Jaswal. I am the group writer at Y Media. And I'm sure all of us live in homes, but do we really care about our well-being from the perspective of how's the air in the home, how's the environment, how does it affect our well-being? Some people complain, oh, I catch viruses too easily, and I have cold, I have flu. Yes, we talk about other factors, about our diet or so many other things, but do we really talk about the well-being from the perspective of a home? A good built home that can really affect our well-being, the air that flows through, and so many other factors. And to talk about this, we have a very special guest here at Y Media at our Channel Y studios. We'd like to welcome Andrew. Andrew, a very warm welcome, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you very much. And I really appreciate you inviting me here to share my story.
Yeah, you're very welcome. As you just mentioned, share your story. Yeah, it's amazing. I was talking to you off the air. I learned such good stuff. And I want you to answer. You were born here. Where did you do your schooling, your graduation? Tell us about that and we'll talk.
Okay, no problem. I'm a first generation Italian.
Okay.
My parents came from Italy, of course. Went to university here, York University, took the business school program. And I found my way through weaving into trying to find what I really love to do. And I think I found it, and it's wellness real estate. I found it a little bit late in my life, but probably 7-8 years ago. but I've been trying to learn everything I can about how can we make the homes that we build and live in better.
Wellness real estate. I've heard many different real estates, luxury real estate or affordable housing, but wellness housing, wellness real estate, this is certainly a new concept for me. And you know what, when I read the history, there was a time that homes were really built looking after the wellness and so many other factors. But today, I mean, we talk about technology, but about wellness, it's very rare. Did you do any certification or anything for that?
Yes, so actually, because I generally live in the fanatical side of whatever I do, I jump all in for doing it. I did all 5 courses at the time under Tarion to become a licensed home builder in Ontario, including the treacherous and very complicated course of the building code. Because if you're going to affect anything in a home, you have to understand what you're affecting code-wise and regulatory-wise. And then I found a program in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it's from the Building Biology Institute, which was started in Germany in the 60s when they're trying to figure out why were people getting sick in new homes that were built after World War II. And they traced it to the building materials that were highly processed. We still didn't know the chemistry of materials at that particular time. And that gave birth to the building biology movement, which is all about really understanding what happens to the occupants once you put a building on a piece of dirt. Something happens. You trap things. And how can we do this in a way that doesn't hurt the environment and also helps the person inside the house?
Wow, this is amazing stuff, Yes, our well-being could be affected by the kind of home that we live in, what are the building materials there, what sort of air or what other things it could trap. This is amazing stuff. And you've launched a company, ERTH360.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So I ended up, I'm with Empire Communities as Vice President Sustainability and Innovation, but it's funny how I ended up here. 10 years ago, I was with Empire as an executive working on a whole bunch of business things. I decided that I wanted to try going down the wellness real estate side. So I went and pursued that on my own. Years later, Empire and I, with the owners of Empire, kept in touch. They liked what I was doing and they asked if I would consider building the first ERTH360 home with them. And I thought, you know what, this would be great. I trust the owners. I know their quality and what they do and their values. So we built that home right during COVID, of all things. To talk about having something happen that was bad and us trying to figure out, could this house help that process? So that caused me to get even closer with them, and they eventually ended up buying my company, and I came with it. And so I now lead not only innovation and sustainability for Empire, but we've got a separate business unit for ERTH360 that we hope to be able to take out to the market one day.
Wow. And this ERTH360, take us a little bit deeper into this concept, because with due respect, what people do, and this is what I've done as well, we look at the home, so many other factors, but from wellness standpoint of view, what is it that you offer?
Okay, so it's kind of interesting. So, when they came to me and did this, they basically said to us, take one of our production homes, don't reinvent it. Work with what we have. Make it too expensive, we'll never build it again. Make it too complicated, we'll never build it again. But somewhere in between, find where we can build something that most people can afford and that the trades can work with. So this is the concept home that's going to be launched very shortly. It's called the Empire by ERTH360 Discovery Home. It's in Avalon, where we have probably built well over 1,000 homes already in that community in Caledonia. And it was an experimental home. Not everything was meant to be something that we could launch tomorrow, and it has a bunch of things that we could launch right now. And out of that, roughly 50 plus changes that I made in that house, from air, water, light, sound that were affected, and I'll talk a little bit about that, came a baby concept called ERTH360 Air. And so we've took that baby out, and it's now part of Empire Riverland in Breslau as part of the Kitchener-Waterloo area. And all 140 homes, Empire has decided that ERTH360 Air will now be part of it as a bonus feature to help that community get off the ground and to help us understand, what does the market think? Do they like what they got? Do they do they understand it? Do we make it a little bit more sophisticated? Do we bring it back? So it's part of our experimental process before we roll it out in the rest of Empire.
Okay, I want to understand this a little bit more. Here is a house that I'm buying, and someone is telling me you could buy this house or the same house, which has a bonus feature, ERTH360 Air.
Yes.
So if I want to compare, let alone the price, we'll talk about that later. What is the difference?
Okay. So in ERTH360 Air, because I'm trained as a building biologist and I have, probably about 7 years of in-depth experience now, I was laser focused on air. What are the very few things that I could spend the time on that if I changed them would have the most incredible impact on the air that you breathe inside the house? And so what I did was I went and found the toughest test that you could find, and it's called ASHRAE Standard 241 that was launched last year. The White House asked ASHRAE, which is the body that regulates all heating, ventilation, and refrigeration in North America, and it's one of the most respected standards in the world. So what they come up with eventually becomes the building code. So I thought, you know what, if I can meet that standard, then maybe I've achieved, something that could certify and have people believe with more confidence that we've got. So I'm happy to report that we hired the group that was licensed to be able to test. They brought scientific equipment in, and we tested the home that has extraordinary number of changes that we don't expect to be done very often because it's got over 50 changes and it's very elaborate to allow us. And then we took an Empire home and we made only 3 of the 6 changes that are in the Empire Riverland project, and both homes passed. And so passing ASHRAE Standard 241 means that if someone has an infectious disease or is sick, and we're going into the cold season right now, and kids are back to school, and we're all probably around people that have gotten sick, and all of a sudden, that COVID's still kicking around there, that if they isolate in one of the rooms in your house that has this package, there's a 0.01% probability that anybody else in the house will get sick.
How does that happen? Does it travel? How does that happen?
Because of the changes. So what we've done is the lungs of a house is something called an HRV, or in our case, we only do ERVs, which is basically a ventilator that allows you to control the humidity as well in the air. We spend money on air conditioning and heating, and in the wintertime, it's very hard to keep the humidity up, and humidity is very important. You want to keep it between 40 and 60 maximum in that range, because that's the range that viruses and bacteria are the least active. They're still there, but they're the least active. And so we have an ERV that we upsized beyond building code size. But you're talking about knowing what you're doing, having the right ductwork, having it in place right. And so it does the job of bringing fresh air in, which dilutes anything that's in the air, because you need that. The second thing that we did was we included a HEPA filtration system. There's 30, maybe even more years of science to say that if you want pure air and clean air, just trap it and get rid of the filter. There's all kinds of sexy new scientific equipment, but I don't see any studies that makes me feel comfortable that they're not actually also creating a problem because they chemically alter the air. And so we decided to play it safe, and we've got a 3-stage HEPA that allows you to trap, and this is very important, and I don't want to get too down into the weeds, but 99.97% of all particles in the air that are bigger than 0.3 microns are trapped. And so there's less of a chance of the virus getting through this membrane that's there that catches it and helps you not catch this disease. And at the same time, we've also included a filter by the furnace. Most builders will do a 1-inch filter that you get, and most of them will do like a MERV 8, which really protects only the equipment in the furnace. We've gone up to a MERV 13, which is maybe $10 more for that filter, something very small like that, but it'll catch 0.3 microns as well, thereby all these things working together plus some other technology that's in the house.
Wow.
And so this cleans the air. and I've now scientifically proven it.
Air, this is great, but what about water? I mean, the water supply, do you do anything for this house of wellness?
Yeah, so it's not part of the ERTH360 air package because we really wanted to give something to the market without affecting the price too much. And in this case, Empire's paying for it. Empire's decided that they're going to include it in the house, and we wanted to be focused on air. But 100%, water is something that we need. You know, where air, you breathe it 20,000 times a day, and if you have a baby, that baby's breathing, I understand, 60,000 times a day. And if you have a senior citizen, they are affected even more because of their age and their susceptibility. But water, unfortunately, by the time it gets cleaned by the municipality and it gets to your tap, it can pick up a whole bunch of other things. So in the ERTH360 Discovery Home, we have found a fantastic water filtration system that everybody can afford. You can buy the refills at Canadian Tire or Home Depot or somewhere of that nature, and it does just enough of a job. And I've looked at it and compared it against units that are thousands of dollars, and I've come to the conclusion I don't need to spend that. And this system works.
Okay, and these systems, when you talk, these are mostly for a pre-construction home or someone who's already owning a home, they can bring on board all this ERTH360 or no? Is this just new homes?
It's a little harder to do the retrofit because in the case of the Empire homes at Riverland, we've had to have a mechanical expert look at the HVAC system and make sure that it can push the air through the filtration, and some of them had to be upsized in order to be able to do it. And so that's a little bit harder. If you if you have a home, already, I would make other modifications for that home because I don't want you to burn your motor out of your furnace. We've done all the adjustments to modify that.
Okay, and take us a little bit how this materials of the building, when you're building a house, how does that affect our wellness?
Yeah, so there's no question building materials off gas. If you make espresso in the morning, which I do every morning, that off gases, but I love that smell and it helps me get my day going. So we try as much as possible to, where there's a choice, to buy materials that have less, it's called VOCs, volatile organic compounds. And that's our job as the market is getting smarter and getting better at this, and we put more pressure on the manufacturers, they'll make materials that are better. When I did the first house for Empire, I rejected a lot of common caulkings and stains and paints that you would normally find in your local hardware store that now I could accept. I could actually pass it. And I have a cutoff line in terms of how much could be in there. But even just 2 years ago, I could accept it. And so the whole industry is getting better, not fast enough, in my opinion, but it's getting better. But we also have to remember, every time we breathe inside a house, it affects the CO2 that's in the air. We breathe out formaldehyde, and so that gets into the air. And if we don't have the right ventilation system, if we don't turn on the exhaust fan for when we're cooking, if we don't turn on the bathroom fan when we take a bath, a shower, you're causing humidity go beyond a certain level. All these things affect the air. If you buy a couch that has got, couches are sprayed with fire retardants, as crazy as it sounds. So all these things add to the air. So it doesn't matter what the builder does, it's what you do, and you're doing it for the rest of the life that you're in that house. And this is where these systems come into play. So that in order to be able to clean that air and make sure that we're breathing the most amount of air, especially if you've got, multi-generational families living in the same house. I come from a family of 6 kids, and somehow 1,200 square feet was large enough, when I grew up. Now 1,200 square feet is a starter home.
Yeah. I've heard about luxury real estate, affordable real estate, but the wellness real estate, this is a new concept.
Yeah.
Do you think, because in this day and age, of course, there are people can afford money.
Yeah.
But when we're talking of building 100, 500,000, 2,000, 5,000 houses, so, and especially for a builder, the affordability, definitely we have to factor in that.
Yeah.
So do you think this wellness real estate is a concept which grow in Canada?
I think it's growing globally, and Empire is in the United States, so we have an opportunity to be able to watch that market and seeing it. both of our markets in North America have been affected by the interest rates. Everybody is hurting, from this side. People are worried about where they get their next paycheck from. So we're very conscious of that. I could do so many things if money was not an object, but it's not the case. And so I'm trying to use my expertise to pick the spot, pick the things that you can do that could help you. So as an example, the ERTH360 air concept in the Riverland, Empire Riverland, we've added more windows that you can open. And so, it's not, if you design it into the case, it's not that much more to be able to do that. You open a window to the right, the window will typically open like this and the air will flow in and it'll come in. But if the wind's coming the other way, it'll actually block it. So you open the window to the left, the wind catches it and it comes into the house. And the cross ventilation is nature's way of getting the air inside the home. There are small things that you can do to always do it. Change your filters. If you, even in your existing house, even if it's a 1-inch filter, immediately go look at it, see what number is on it. If it has no number, throw it out because it means it's the lowest grade filter. Any manufacturer that's proud of what they're doing will want you to know they built a good filter. So look for, I understand from the mechanical engineers I speak to, every furnace should be able to handle a MERV 11. I like MERV 13, but you need a little bit more horsepower, just a bit more for it. So you can do that right now, and you can help protect your family.
Wow. It's great talking to you, and sure we'll carry on this discussion.
Yeah.
Andrew, anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Yeah, so I hope you give an opportunity to take a look at the Empire Riverland project. It's a project if you're looking at Kitchener and Waterloo area, if that area is something that you would consider going to. You'll get a chance if you go to the sales center, you'll be able to see some materials that's on this. And I really appreciate you inviting me to talk about this.
No, you're very welcome, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's a great discussion, and we will carry on inviting you. I want to hear more and more about this, and I know off there we spoke about some other projects as well. So because when it comes to wellness and all these things, very few people are working in this field, and I'm glad that Empire Communities has taken this initiative. I compliment Empire Communities, I compliment you, Andrew, and you know what, I can sense, I can feel the energy that now you want to give it back to the community. This is your time.
Yeah.
That, of course, we all have our bills to take care. We all run businesses, but at the end of the day, there are very few people who are passionate about what they do and they want to give it back to the community, serve the community. I see that in you. Compliments to you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
really
you, sir.
Appreciate you inviting me to be on your program.
Welcome. Looking forward for many more.
Yes. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the time that we have on today's discussion. Hope you enjoyed today's discussion. Stay tuned with Y Media. Thank you.